Hey listeners, it's Paul Andriola here. Why not join our community at Small Cap Discoveries, where we offer our members direct access to some of the best microcap investment opportunities available. Our members are getting access to premium microcap financings, research reports, and direct access to management. Sign up today at www.smallcapdiscoveries.com.
Welcome everyone to today's SCD Zoom call. Today we have Burcon Nutraceuticals and CEO Kip Underwood. Burcon trades under the symbol BU on the Venture Exchange, closed today, which by the way is August 7th, 2025, closed today at $2.69 or thereabouts, with 12.7 million shares outstanding. That gives you roughly a $34 million market cap. So welcome, Kip. Glad to have you here. Burcon's a relatively new story for a lot of our members. So happy to have you here to tell us all about the business. I'll turn it over to you and let you go with your presentation.
Paul, thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to everybody who has invested some of their time to listen about Burcon Nutrascience today. So I think there's three takeaways I want everybody to walk away with as we move through this opportunity. One is we are targeting a growing, exciting market, and that market is proteins, plant-based foods. Two, we as Burcon have a technology platform that enables us to produce highly differentiated plant proteins that are relevant for that market. And three, as an ag tech, food tech company, we're advanced to the point we have a direct route to market. So we have a clear path to bring our technology, our products to market, which really means we're an exciting story. We're also really an execution story at this point in time. So that's the three takeaways I hope everybody walks away with. I'm sure the audience is well aware of Safe Harbor. We have to put that there. I mentioned we have a technology platform. And fundamentally, what our technology does is we take the byproduct of grain processing and we upcycle that to a highly pure protein, 95% pure protein, that then is sold in the food industry as a food ingredient. We can apply that platform across a range of crops, as you see, including sunflower, pea, canola, soy, hemp, and our recently launched protein, fava protein. And why this technology platform matters, I mentioned purity. What that extra purity, that high purity does, it allows us to deliver an ingredient that is white in color, very neutral and differentiated on flavor, and delivers what food companies want as a texture or mouthfeel. In the end, our protein allows food companies to deliver a better food product that any of us would go buy at the grocery store. Platform applied across these grains and others in the future. Why is that exciting? Is because from a market back perspective, right now, as I'm sure most people are aware, protein is hot. People are seeking proteins, consumers, in all sorts of foods. And they're seeking those proteins for a few different reasons. One, protein is hot just from a nutritional perspective. Two, plant protein is even more sought after because people believe and understand that consuming more plant proteins helps them with their own health. It helps with the health of our planet. And the third driver right now is consumers on weight loss or GLP-1 medication. Those consumers are looking for more protein-dense foods. What that means for us is food companies then want to put more proteins into the foods we eat, and they seek our technology, our protein technology, to help them deliver those foods to the consumers in a way that they'll meet their consumers' needs. We're not just talking hypothetically. We have already spoken to many of these customers. We have a very robust customer pipeline. In this industry, when any food company changes a food that we eat or launches a new one, that's a 9 to 18-month process. We mirror that process with our sales funnel. Highly robust. We have projects across the products that I mentioned earlier in the technology portfolio, meaning canola protein, pea protein, fava protein. At the present time, we have over 150 active projects. That is food companies with our ingredients in their shop, working with them, trying to understand how they can put them into their food products. It's about 6 weeks ago, we announced our first production agreement, $6.8 million over a multi-year to help one of our customers bring a product to market. And the last thing I want to mention about this that really unique to this industry is all these customer projects which turn into revenue. This is recurring revenue. So once you are in a food that we all buy, we sell to a food company, that becomes recurring revenue. Every time that food company manufactures the foods we buy, we supply them more ingredients. So as you grow, your revenue stacks over time. The other key takeaway for us is, we have a growing market, exciting technology, but we're not just a technology company. We have a direct route to market and really an innovative business model. So we have a partner, ProMan Manufacturing. We worked with them to identify a manufacturing facility. And essentially, they have purchased the facility. They are led by one of our board members. They have purchased a facility and they lease the facility back to us. We have total operational control. Which for our investors, this is a capital light business model. They provide the asset. We put our proprietary technology inside this asset, so we make our products, and then we use this asset to produce and launch our products to market. It's a 7-year agreement, tremendously exciting. We call March 10th, day one. We had our proprietary technology up and running within about 30 days, and we announced our first commercial scale production in June of our pea protein isolate, and we're now cycling through the rest of our portfolio as we move forward. The reason this is important, also important, is that sales funnel I talked about. The last step in the customer's decision-making process is they need commercial scale sample to evaluate. Does it meet their needs? So we're at that, with this facility, we're at that last stage of the customer decision cycle, meaning they are evaluating our commercial scale produced material. Another thing we work on quite a bit is this isn't just hope and promise. We think we need to continue to earn our credibility in the marketplace. We talk about, we say what we do and we do what we say. We laid out a plan really 6 months ago of what was going to transpire, and we have hit every single milestone, beginning with a rights offering raise of $9.4 million, which closed in February. Like I said, our partner closed on the acquisition of the facility early March, completed our first commercial scale production, did a share consolidation to get our sales price and outstanding shares right-sized. I mentioned we had our first production agreement up and running. And most recently, we also announced both the launch and the first commercial production of fava protein. So what that demonstrates is it's a platform technology. We can apply the technology to multiple products. We can cycle between products effectively and make the quality that our customers expect. You put this together, growing market, high differentiated technology, a route to market, a way to bring our products to market in a highly innovative business model, and we believe this represents a tremendous investment opportunity. Right now, we're in phase one, moving to phase two. We call this our execution phase. This is really selling out the manufacturing facility, selling up to its capacity. Phase three is where things get even more exciting. So phase three is as we get our products to market. Again, we're a technology company, and we prove customer demand, we prove unit economics, we put Burcon on a strong financial footing. We have the opportunity then to scale the technology through licensing and partnerships. Right? And that's where the technology phase comes in. That's really your phase three, where the profitability explodes. As Paul mentioned, you can see our share price as of a couple of days ago, market cap, strong insider ownership and participation and belief in our company. And from financial target perspective, we have communicated 1 to 3 million revenue in 2025, double-digit 10+ million revenue in 26, and cash flow positive or profitable in 2026. Moving forward, investors ask, well, what should we look for in the future? So you've hit your previous milestones. What does success look like in the coming months? And really where we are, in order to hit the financial milestones we talked about, 1 to 3 million revenue in 25, 10+ million revenue in 26, what you will see is announcements about production. So we just announced the successful production of our fava protein. We'll cycle through our other products, and you will begin to see announcements of sales contracts, so recurring revenue. So as we produce more, We're only going to produce what we can sell. As we produce more, that's a sign we're moving forward. As we gain, as we earn sales contracts that are highly mature and relevant, we'll communicate those to the market. And those are the milestones that investors should look for from us in the future as we move forward. With that, again, I think Paul has some questions here, but again, probably the takeaway first again is exciting market. Plant foods, plant proteins. Protein is hot. We have highly differentiated, relevant technology, the highest purity proteins out there, and we're an execution story. We've applied the technology commercially. We have customers who want and are willing to buy. We need to cycle through production and sales to grow our business. And with that, Paul, I'll turn it over to you for questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Kip. And of course, a reminder to everybody's listening, if you got a question you'd like me to ask Kip, please use the chat function and we'll ask that question. So you've got this existing facility that you've got a partner that basically operates. Can you give us a sense of like what's the capacity and what's sort of the next step? If you were to reach capacity, how do you grow larger supply?
So what I can say about the capacity fully, so there are a couple of things. One is the facility with our investment has a capability to make our entire portfolio as it sits, has the capacity to fully enable our business plan well into year 3. So we're in very good shape there. Relative to the future, we see demand coming in quickly. We have a couple options. One is where the site is located. We have the land and the building size to expand there relatively capital efficiently. So that's an avenue we're always looking at. And again, the second way we will grow will be to license technology around the world for others can build facilities, maybe in Europe or Asia Pacific. And we'll charge a technology fee up front, we'll license the technology, and then let them grow and scale at much larger facilities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, I saw the chart there with the sort of numbers as they grow. Where's an optimized, or let's say full run rate capacity margin on this type of product? What kind of margin do you get when you're running?
Well, at capacity, we'll be north of 50% gross margin.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, good. So now the other thing is, you mentioned you just raised a bunch of money recently with the rights offering. Maybe talk to me in terms of what other resources you need.
You want to wash your hands?
Hold on one sec. Guys, if everybody can mute their mic. Henry, I think it's you. All right, perfect. Sorry about that, Kip. We'll edit that out, no problem. So you raised, I think, just over $9 million in a rights offering. Do you have the capital you need now to execute on your business plan, or do you think you might go back to market at some point?
At this point, we have the capital we need to fully execute. So the only way we would go back to the market really would be around growth accelerator, right? That would allow us to either grow faster or grow more profitably. But the existing business plan, we have the balance sheet, the resources, people, facility to fully execute.
Gotcha. Perfect. And then you've obviously got it to a commercial point here. Looks like you're expecting a couple of $1 million worth of revenue right now. I'm sure you had a lot of challenges in the past, but now that you're at this stage, what keeps you up at night now going forward?
I think what keeps us up at night now, one is, first to me, is just ensuring that we deliver consistent quality. It sounds boring, but that's the key. We got to prove that out, and we're very focused on consistent quality. And the second piece really is just the customer adoption cycle. We have waiting customers who want to use our technology, and they have to go through the same steps all food companies go through to change a product and launch a product. And there's a time variable there, right? Which is why we have a funnel. We don't rely on just 1 or 2 customers, but the customer adoption cycle is something that it occurs, and we have minimal influence over it. And so there's a time variable there that we're always very conscious of.
Gotcha. And then, a number of products or a number of different, call it grains that you're working with. When you look forward, what other new initiatives are you guys looking at? Either new products or maybe new methods of doing your business? What I always ask the new initiative question. What can you tell us about new ideas?
Well, I think the one we haven't launched commercially yet, but is, I think, unbelievably exciting. So on our technology platform, we have some products that are just better, or not just better than what's out there. And we have a product like sunflower that is truly new to the world technology. Patent protected, we're the only game in town, and getting tremendous excitement about that. And it's white in color, has the cleanest flavor of any protein I've tasted, and I've been in the protein business for over 30 years. And it's protein from the sun. So from a marketing perspective, it's fantastic. So our sunflower protein, we believe, is not just game changing for us, we believe will truly disrupt the entire protein industry.
Mm-hmm. You've been a public company for quite a while. What, how's the public markets helped you? You obviously did the rights offering here, but on a go-forward basis, I mean, is there, I hate to say, is your share price, are you able to use it as currency? Is there any M&A opportunities that you see, or is this a pure sort of organic growth story?
I think in the beginning, it's an organic growth story. All right. So I think we started this. I was joined as a CEO 2.5 years ago. We've revised our strategy, figured out this route to market. We're really a reset, beginning in February, March. So for us, then it's near term, grow the business, establish customers, demand, unit economics. And once that's established, the value technology is maximized, the risk is minimized. Then we get into more exciting part of, okay, how do you scale? Is that a license? Is that an M&A? Is that a purchase from somebody else? So we have to get step one done first, and then I think that will open up really exciting opportunities, not just for Burcon, but also for our investors.
Awesome. The shareholder base. I saw that you insiders have about 30% of the company. I think it said 11% institutional ownership. Can you give us a sense of what's the makeup of the rest of the shareholder base? Is it mostly retail? Is it people that understand the industry? What can you tell us?
Mostly retail. I'd put them in two buckets. I'd put them in retail individuals who are looking for that pre-revenue or right at revenue company that has lower risk and tremendous opportunity. That sweet spot. That's where we believe we are. And then we have another bucket of people who understand the food industry, understand our product, understand where the industry is going, and see our technology, our relevance and opportunity for us to really ride kind of the plant-based food, plant protein growth wave. So they see a company with great technology and want the tailwind.
Awesome. And then talking about sort of the team, are you satisfied? Do you have all the sort of the people you need right now? Is there anything kind of missing as far as skill set? Maybe even talk a bit about your board.
Sure. So at a board level, let me go the board down. The board is really exciting. We have a highly diverse board. So one of them is most important is Johnny Fasalo. He is also the driving force for the ProMan business that bought the facility and leased it back to us. So capital market strategy, growth-minded, entrepreneurial, really strong. We'll highlight Jim Picard, who just joined our board last summer. Jim built his own food ingredient business over a course of 25 years and then sold that business into the industry. So built a highly profitable, amazing business and then sold that into the industry for a nice profit. So he has experience in connections and all that we're doing. I'd highlight like Jean McCarty, who's on our board. She's been in the food industry for 30 years like I has. She has many years with Cargill, now runs another company. So she's a food industry veteran. And then we have the right balance, we have the right people for our audit committee. So we have a bright balance between in-industry, capital, finance to really help us make decisions. And then from a team standpoint, or what we have is, I think we have over 200 years of experience in food ingredient, protein ingredient manufacturing research. So we're highly confident we can produce and sell the products. We have myself and another individual have led food ingredient businesses all over the world. I think we're missing Antarctica as a continent. And well, that's it. We've done business in the rest. So global experience. So I think we have the right team, and really the team in place is set and ready to really achieve the business plan we've laid out with minimal additions.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Okay, so we do have a couple questions here. So why don't we tackle these questions? Question from Russell says, do you pay ProMan a flat monthly lease rate, or do they also receive a percentage of outputs or profits?
So we have a 7-year lease deal with them. That is, they want us to be successful too, where we have minimal payments at the beginning, and then as we get cash flow positive, we have accelerating payments at the end. So it's a 7-year, actually it's a 7-year contract manufacturing agreement, technically speaking, and then it converts to a lease after. So it's a set amount of payments. There's no, and those are laid out right now publicly, actually. So there's no, as we grow, additional percentage.
Gotcha. And then Russell, the other question is, what do you feel is the world demand for this technology, and what is the value of this back to Burcon?
Well, I think so. If you look at the world demand for protein, I view our competition as not other plant proteins. Our competition is meat, milk, and eggs. Right. So from a share perspective, plant proteins are relatively small, and the share perspective in protein in Burcon is very small. So we have a massive addressable market out there for us. So market size, market growth, we don't see a limit to that. We're at the very, very beginning of the runway.
Mm-hmm. And Kip, obviously there's other plant protein products out there. What makes you guys better? Like, what is the differentiation here?
Sure. Well, first, I think we're differentiating not just against plant proteins, but all proteins. Mm-hmm. And really, it gets down to the purity that I spoke to. Our technology allows us to be loosely 5% more pure, say 90 to 95% more pure than most any other protein out there. And it's that last little bit that removes some impurities, removes some negative flavor actors, removes those things that nobody else can. And removal of those for the food company is what allows then the food company not just to deliver a product to us that is good for us, but also one that we taste and we enjoy and we want to buy again. And that's what that extra purity does for the food company, and how the food company then delivers that benefit to consumers like us.
Fantastic. Okay, so the stocks actually started to perform quite well here very recently. So obviously you've got more investors that are paying attention, but going forward, what do you think investors like ourselves, what should we focus the most on, either metrics or maybe potential catalysts? What should we be watching for?
So I think they're the clearing of milestones. Again, so we're at a place now where, produce, sell for a while. So what investors look for is when we put out an announcement that we have successfully produced the next protein commercially. We're not producing more unless we believe there's a market, right? So that's one. And then two, again, as we've said, 1 to 3 million this year, double-digit revenue in 2026. You'll start to see announcements about customer agreements. Right? So as those things come out, then those are milestones and keys that you can know that we're hitting our plan, and we're executing like we talked about, which is huge for us. Say what we do and do what we say.
Question back to the product. As far as this pure product, what kind of impact does it have to the end price of a product? What does the consumer see, if anything?
So one of the beauties of I'll say plant proteins as an industry is, typically speaking, if you believe your target market is meat, milk, and eggs, plant proteins are also going to typically provide a cost and use benefit relative to other protein sources. So we are a premium price product that we command for the value we bring. At the same time, when you convert from a traditional protein to a plant protein, most of the time, the end food company will see a cost and use benefit, and usually that will be translated back to the consumer at some level.
Fantastic. Yeah, like I said, the stock has done very well recently, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Is there any key message, or how do you want to sum up the discussion we just had for our listeners?
Well, I go back to repetition is sometimes important, right? So the 3 takeaways, right? So we are targeting a growing market, and we're at the beginning of the runway. As consumers continue to seek protein for the reason we talked about, health, GLP-1, weight management medication, health of our plant, health themselves, food companies need new differentiated solutions to meet their needs. And our technology, our differentiation aligns perfectly for what the food companies need to meet consumers' needs today and tomorrow. And then the last piece really is, we're an ag tech, food tech play, but I would offer we're significantly de-risked. We have commercially proven technology. We have a route to market. We have a funnel with customers waiting to buy. And so I think there's a tremendous upside here for those who choose to come along the journey with us.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I got one last question that came in, so we might as well tackle this, and then we'll let you go here. John says, what is the typical timeline to bring a new protein to market, i.e. sunflower?
All right, so to bring a protein to market would typically be, the R&D can be a long time. Luckily, we've done that. Once you have the product completed, it's 12 plus months. Mm-hmm. Now, what we have done is, since we already launched the product via pilot scale material, mm-hmm. we've already done that 12 months of work. So that is in our rearview mirror, and we're moving to commercial phase. Fantastic.
Well, listen, thank you for enlightening us on the business. We've been speaking with Kip Underwood, CEO of Burcon Nutraceuticals. Symbol again is BU on the Venture Exchange. Kip, wonderful to have you here today, and look forward to keeping up and hearing more about it in the future.
Thank you, Paul, for having us, and thanks to all of the potential investors out there who gave of their time today. Really appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you, and bye for now.